that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood.
Many people believe Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to be the greatest American leader of the 20th century because he was the most prominent activist for civil rights in the United States. His influence was crucial in dismantling legal apartheid and emancipating African Americans. He was first a moral leader who promoted nonviolent resistance as a means of bringing about political change, arguing that biblical ideals guided by love would triumph over hatred in fear-driven politics. He was a talented speaker, and his "I Have a Dream" address at the March on Washington, August 28, 1963, cemented his legacy. Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. and Mrs Alberta Williams King had their son Martin Luther King Jr. on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta. Father Reverend Martin Luther King Sr. served as a pastor of Atlanta's Venerable Ebenezer Baptist Church. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was an integral part of the Black professional elite in Atlanta. He ruled his home with the fervor of the patriarch from the Old Testament, and his efforts resulted in a comfortable environment in which his kids could learn and grow up without fear for their health or financial security. Reverend King instructed his son Martin Luther King Jr. to go by ML when he was young. King was the third of 4 children. His sister Willie Christian came first, and his brother Alfred Daniel or AD came later. The center of the King family's universe was the church. Even closer to the enormous Auburn Avenue home was the sanctuary, which was just 3 streets away. In 1942, at the age of 13, King enrolled at Brookhart Washington High School, having skipped many classes due to his intelligence and outspoken will. 2 years later, as a stellar junior high school, he aced the Morehouse College admission test, having previously graduated from Booker T. Washington after 11th grade. A civil rights veteran named Benjamin Mays. By 1948, King had graduated from Morehouse College with an BA in sociology. In 1951, he graduated as valedictorian from Crozar Theology Seminar in Chester, Pennsylvania, where he had previously been chosen student body president. In 1955, he received his PhD in systematic theology from Boston University. Therefore, King set out on a quest for knowledge between the ages of 15 and 26. Through it, he organized a theological and social worldview characterized by extremely deep insights and a firm faith in the efficacy of nonviolence and redemption through undeserved suffering. Amid the turmoil of the Cold War, King found encouragement in the surprisingly successful expansion of student sit-in demonstrations throughout the South. Throughout 1960, the head of the SCLC was overjoyed to see so many black students taking part in the struggle. As the sit-ins gained momentum, King publicly endorsed them as a strategic move of courage. In the campaign to disintegrate in the southern cities, using Bible-based tactics of applied nonviolence, thousands of blacks and honest whites around the nation swore loyalty to the cause. Protest marches, sit-ins, and freedom rides. Both the Kennedy and Johnson administration had supported him. Some notable setbacks occurred, such as in Albany, Georgia from 1961 to 1962, where the civil rights movement was soundly and comprehensively defeated in its campaign to disintegrate public parks, pools, lunch counters, and other services. Nonetheless, progress was made despite the ongoing misery, defeats, and notable failures. Upon evaluating their situation, King and his advisors believed that the FBI was on the side of the Albany segregation. Through a series of speeches and written papers delivered in the late autumn and early winters of 1962, King created a new commitment. After consulting with the leaders of the SCLC's Birmingham affiliate, the Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights, Reverend Fred Shuttlesworth, the SCLC leader, came up with a plan whereby a successful direct action campaign in Birmingham would make up for the failure in Albany and bring an end to the legal segregation in Birmingham. He was just 39 years old when he was shot dead in 1968. The struggle against apartheid in South Africa was influenced by Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy and impact, which went far beyond the United States. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day is celebrated on the third Monday of January, not far from the day of his birth. He is one of the only 3 Americans to enjoy a national holiday.